No, this isn't far enough. This isn't far enough at all. I did a video probably 3 weeks ago on this incident that took place at the Foundation Summit in Chicago, where President Obama was saying, hey, look, you can't be as nuts as you are to the left. And in that, I criticized him because it's not far enough. And recently, he came back out, and that's where this article from Yahoo News is coming from. Be rooted in reality. Barack Obama urges moderation to 2020 Democratic presidential contenders, written by Nicholas Will. Once again, this is a fire you started, sir. Once again, if you show a portion of the decorum that John McCain showed you, that we wouldn't have the type of tension that we have right now. So it's like the pyromaniac that becomes a firefighter and starts lighting fires so the crew can come through and put them out. It's hard as hell to pat you on the back. Former President Barack Obama, speaking before a crowd of Democratic donors in Washington, D.C., urged caution and moderation to the current field of Democratic presidential contenders. Basically, Tulsi Gabbard. That's it. If you want a moderate, if you want somebody who at least seems like they have a ounce, a sliver of sense and, statesmanship to her, then yeah, it's Tulsi. No one else. Everybody else is in the loony bin. The average American doesn't think we have to completely tear down the system and remake it, and I think it's important for us not to lose sight of that, Obama said to the audience, the Associated Press reported. Obama did not mention any candidates specifically, but the remarks come as two of the most progressive candidates in the Democratic primary field, Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's not a progressive, and Senator Bernie Sanders, who's a socialist, which is way too far left, have pitched themselves among the top polling contenders. And another candidate, former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick, entered the race promising a more moderate platform. Which is cool, but I think we're too far gone now. Sorry, Mr. Patrick. See, what the main question I have to ask, I guess, is what's the difference between a Neo-Lib and a Neo-Con? Nothing really. They about that cash. What they do is use the ideologies or the, that left-right dynamic in order to garner themselves support and a voting base. But beyond that, that's just a mask, when you have, conservatives like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not a conservative. He's not a conservative at all. But he ran under the Republican mask in order to, gain that support and gain that traction and end up becoming president. And so when you look at the people who we've been electing, from the Clintons to I think even the Bushes, they're more corporate puppets. And even Obama is more of a corporate puppet than someone who is really solid behind any ideology beyond their pocketbook. All right. There are a lot of persuadable voters, and there are a lot of Democrats out there who just want to see things make sense. They just don't want to see crazy stuff. They want to see things a little more fair. They want to see things a little more just. And how we approach that, I think, will be important, Obama continued. The remarks were hosted by the Democracy Alliance, which touts itself as the largest network of donors dedicated to building the progressive movement in the United States. Former Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams was also featured at the event. This is a scam. All right. Sorry, Democracy Alliance. This is these folks it's that far left Marxist agenda type shit. That's what this is. The former president also took a swipe at views that exist on left-leaning Twitter feeds, calling on candidates to be rooted in reality. Even as we push the envelope and we are bold in our vision, we also have to be rooted in reality and the fact that voters, including the Democratic voters and certainly persuadable independents and even moderate Republicans, are not driven by the same views that are reflected on certain, left-leaning Twitter feeds, he said. So, once again, this video exists because I'm really curious as to what's the difference between the neocons and the Neo-Libs. And because I'm not seeing any, except for the fact that they when they campaign on whichever side, saying blue or red, that they want to rock with. But when it comes to governance, nah, it's about whatever corporate donors and those who, financially kick into their campaign does for them. And I don't believe that it's any different with President Trump. Make no mistake, because he wears the same. He's all about corporatization, but at least he's honest about it. I mean, he's been as honest about it as freaking possible. That mask that he wears, the Republican mask that he wears, is simply because, hey, he had to get in where he fit in. The entire DNC, as we see with Tulsi Gabbard, is just insanely corrupt and pushing. I think they wanted Biden, but the impeachment stuff being focused around Ukraine has really thrown a wrench in that monkey. So now they're trying to get behind Warren. But seriously, come on, man. There's no, honestly, even if Duval is a top tier candidate, I'm sorry, but he just ain't got it. He ain't got the juice. Nobody has Trump's juice because nobody's been in the public eye the way that Trump has. And yeah, you can send out somebody like an Oprah or The Rock, anything else like that. But nah. I don't think our next president's going to be that much of a celebrity. I think there has to be a certain level of celebrity that you need to reach in order to become, to get elected. But as far as where they come from and what they're of, we'll see when the time comes. But these completely fake and phony candidates that are just corporate shills that are well paid to pretend to be progressive or pretend to be conservative, it's just that. It's an act. It's political theater at its finest. So, I mean, whereas I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, no, Barack, don't say that. Don't try to push for more moderation. No. By all means, do it. But still, this is a monster that you created, sir. As well as you could say so much more. Like when McCain said, no, stop that. He's a Muslim and he's a bad person. Remember that old white lady? He's a Muslim and he's a bad person. But I kind of had this fear in the back of my mind during Obama's presidency that after Obama left, the other side, the blue team, would be just as petty and just as spiteful as the red team would be. But little did I know, they'd be a million times worse. They would be a million times worse. And these patterns are really easy to see, guys. They're very easy to see. When I saw Jan Brewer hop up in Obama's face, I was like, oh man, that's jacked up. I wouldn't want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's unfair. Who does that to a president? But now you sit here and see all this impeachment nonsense and Russiagate and all this other crap. And it's just like, okay, well, just because they did it doesn't give you the right to. I mean, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. It's not hard math on this. But Bill Maher and Barack Obama, and really Barack Obama more so than Bill Maher, because if Barack Obama came out and was like, look, the economy's doing okay. President Trump hasn't done everything terrible. It would do gangbusters. Of course, he would lose some people, but I think the nation would be better for it. But that's not where he's coming from. He's just like, oh, well, left, right, when that's not what it's about, man. That's really not what it's about. So with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and want to get videos like this every single day. Ring that notification bell, because I don't even get notifications. So I know you're not getting notifications, but the bell is the best shot that we got. Share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute, they like me, but, I want them to love me like they love Pac. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? This is the fire that you started, Barack Obama. I'm so, I don't never want to say I'm glad my dad's dead, but I am grateful that he doesn't see this nonsense. Because you are one of the few people with the amount of juice necessary to put the kibosh on a lot of the rhetoric. And really, not even when it comes to President Trump, when it comes to Trump supporters and the whole MAGA thing. Because a lot of those folks voted for you too. People want change. People don't want the entire system broken down, but the status quo, In many cases, outside of the neocon and neoliberal bubbles, the elite bubbles of, mainstream media and the like, everybody else is hurting. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until the next one.